What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull-Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, a.k.a. B. Just before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube videos, hit that like button. Y'all come in here. Let's get popping. All right. Happy Sunday to y'all this morning, man. Get some of this lemon water. I wanted to make this quick little video, man. Just again, you know, speculations and stuff like that regarding this subject. It's not speculation. Not speculations, observations that this subject needs to be talked about. Now, for you guys who don't know, I have my own playback channel. I will be on Playback TV tonight to cover the Clippers and Lakers round 2, right? Playback TV. You guys subscribe, join my playback channel free of charge. I'll also be having the live stream on the YouTube, but it won't be streaming the actual game. You just get a chance to see my handsome face on the screen, but y'all won't be able to see the physical game. So you guys got to go over to my playback channel to see the physical game. I do the commentary, play-by-play, all that good stuff. Y'all have a good time. I bring people in at halftime and after the game to, you know, talk about the game and stuff like that, event, whatever y'all want to talk about, like StreamYard, like y'all do like on my lives. So now that we're past that, we got to talk about this subject right here. So we played the Lakers back like a couple days ago. We play them again tonight, and we had a live show yesterday, and people gave their opinions about what they thought about Kawhi Leonard, and you know how he played on Friday night, obviously going 2 for 6 from the free throw line, going a little bit under 50% from the field, 2 for 6 from the 3-point line. I think he didn't even score 20 points, or he scored 21 points if I'm not mistaken. But he had a very quiet night. Didn't have much of an impact down the stretch of the game. He was pretty much average. And to be quite honest with you, LeBron James outplayed him. He outplayed him. He made the shots down the stretch. He was more consistent throughout the entirety of the game. Yada, yada, yada. And it just pretty much gave the Lakers, you know, the dub on Friday night. As well as Luka Doncic scored 30+, which I thought he had a very average game. People are going to look at 30 points, say, oh, he had just a great game. Went 9 for 22 from the field. And I felt like Chris Dunn did a great job on him defensively. And outside of those two 3-pointers at the end of the game, Luka didn't really make much of his imprint throughout the entirety of the game. So we'll let him have that. But it's about Kawhi Leonard. So I went on Clippers Talk with Adam right after the game on Friday night. He spoke to me about Kawhi Leonard. And we talked about this whole conversation as he watched. We about an hour and a half conversation. It was really good. I hear from certain people that, you know, he's not the same player. People are definitely concerned when he's going to start turn that switch on and stuff like that. And I get it. I understand it. Kawhi's at game number 18 this year. He's at 17 points per game, 45% from the field. Obviously, that contributes to, you know, how many minutes he's been playing up and down and not getting consistent time on the court, yada, 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 which has been another question to me. Usually a player doesn't get that much time on minutes restrictions if he's at game 18. You probably been about 5 to 10 games max when you're on minutes restriction, right? So the fact that he just crossed over past minutes restriction last game was kind of a surprise to me. So when you talk about is he washed, because I ain't talked about this subject in a long time. First off, I'm gonna tell y'all again, that word washed, gotta be careful how you use that word. Washed is a player that when he steps on the court, he's a shell of himself. He can't average nowhere near what he was averaging before. He doesn't belong on the court. He just looks like total trash consistently. Now, if we look at somebody behind me, if we look at what Kawhi Leonard averaged when he was healthy, last year he averaged 23 points a game, 6.1 rebounds, I think 3.6 assists, off of 52% field goal shooting, 41% from the 3 and 88% from the free throw line. I want y'all to remember them numbers. He played 68 games last year. This year, he hasn't had the same success, you know, luck playing games. Started coming back in January. I'm highlighting all this different stuff in my head because this is going to go to my point, is Kawhi Leonard wash. So like I said, washed is somebody that pretty much doesn't belong on the basketball court. So he's averaging 17 points per game, but we're used to seeing Kawhi Leonard who's averaging somewhere between 20, 25 points per game throughout the season. We're used to seeing a Kawhi Leonard giving you somewhere between, 50, 40, 80% shooting splits like last year, as well as he averaged 1.6 steals. So now that he's not, quote unquote, coming as fast as everybody would like for him to come, they want to bring up this question: can he carry a team as a number one option? Well, you got to look at a few things. First off, you got to look at what he did last year. Last year, by the numbers I just named right there, earned him All-NBA second team. I don't know if people remember this, but Kawhi Leonard was All-NBA second team just last season, right? All-NBA teams obviously goes into category where the NBA looks at you as at your position. You have All-NBA first team, second, and third team. There's 3 different teams. That comes to pretty much the top 5 players in the top 15 players in the NBA in those 3 categories. Kawhi Leonard is a small forward. So according to the NBA, Kawhi Leonard was the second best small forward in the season last year in the regular season. The only person that was in front of him was Jason Tatum, who was All-NBA first team. Now, different parts of the season last year, I want y'all to pay attention. Different parts of the season last year, we were saying Kawhi Leonard could possibly be the best player in the NBA, especially in that stretch where they went 25-6 or 26-5, one of those two. They went through on a magnificent streak where the Clippers looked like a team that's going to win the championship. And Kawhi Leonard was front lines of that, right? So at his peak, at his highest point, he was arguably the best player in the NBA, right? Shooting splits, his scoring, his defense. He was just literally doing everything on the court. And one thing people got to remember, you can't really fathom how great Kawhi Leonard is by looking at the stat sheet. You got to actually visibly watch the games and his impact offensively and defensively and clutch moments, how he, uplifts his teammates, stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. By watching the games physically, it's going to show you how great Kawhi Leonard is. But people look at, he's not averaging 30, he's not averaging 10 and 11, he's not averaging a triple-double, so he's not the best player in the NBA. That's Luka Doncic, that's Nikola Jokic, that's LeBron James in his heyday. But here's the problem with that. When you have players who just look at their numbers and stats, they tend to not really have much success winning. Kawhi is a winner. He's looking at he don't care about his stats. The stats come in throughout the game because of how great he is. But he's not looking at, like, I got to get this amount of points, this amount of rebounds, this amount of minutes. I'm like, I got to be able to get this stop on defense. I got to be able to make this extra pass, which might not count as an assist, but it can set up a teammate for a better shot. I'm looking to make the winning play. I'm not looking to get my numbers. I'm not looking to have a guy waiting in the corner and the shot clock is winding down and I want to give him the assist at the last minute, the pass, so I can get the assist. That's not how he thinks the game of basketball. He thinks about winning games. He thinks about making stops. He thinks about scoring in the clutch. He thinks about when his teammates need him the most to come and rise to the occasion. That's exactly what he was doing last year. And why does that matter to this discussion is because this year, all that done changed is that he has not played the same amount of games as he did last year. Now, what has happened between when he was, out with, I guess, knee swelling to this point? All that done changed is the amount of games he ain't played. All that done changed is he hasn't played consistent basketball throughout the entirety of the season. Now, does that take away from his ability? I don't think it does. When he came back on the court against the Atlanta Hawks in January, he looked great defensively. He was moving around great, got plenty of rest. As time goes, I understand your minutes raised up. You have to get acclimated more and more. Everything's a benchmark, right? You start off at 20, 25 minutes per game, and then you gradually bring yourself up more and more and more, right? So we got past him coming back in January. Now it's time to up his minutes more, to the point where he's comfortable, to the point where he can get back to what he was before the knee swelling. Knee swelling, he didn't tear nothing. He didn't tear no ligaments. He didn't tear his ACL. He didn't tear his meniscus. So other than that, really there was nothing that we can say that Kawhi Leonard is not the same player he was before he got out. Knee swelling will not keep you from being the player caliber that you are. I can see if he tore his knee up. I can see if he tore his meniscus, tore his ACL, tore something, which been ligament damage. But he's not washed off of no knee swelling. He's not washed off of he's not washed off of that. Every injury, another fun fact, every injury he done gotten, he comes back stronger. ACL tear in 21, he comes back from that, which is like a 2-year injury. Torn meniscus, he comes back from that last year, had a great season, just didn't finish the playoffs. But all I'm saying is that pipe down with the wash comments, because you got to be careful how you tell people if they're washed or not. This guy is still averaging numbers that would be good for about 75 to 80% of the league right now, and that's with him on minutes restrictions still. 17 points per game off of 45% shooting. That's about 80-85% of the league. That's a great season that people would kill to have a season like that. Washed would be simply like, say, you go from 23 points a game to like single digits where you can't even play. You can't even play back-to-backs. You can't even play full minutes. You can't even play. You can't even get out there, right? So, no, he's not washed. You don't get washed off of a knee swelling, right? I do think the Clippers are being overly cautious, because my thing, this is where it's kind of confusing to me. You want to sit up here and play this dude all these minutes, and I'm talking about prior to the last game against the Lakers. You want to play this guy all these minutes, but when it comes down to the main points of the game, you don't want to put him in the game. You leave him out the fourth quarter. That don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense to me that this guy's on minutes restriction all the way up to game number 17. That don't make no sense to me. That's being overly cautious. I really believe the Clippers are traumatized. I'm talking about the medical staff has been traumatized, because they don't really know what the real issue is, why this man has been hurt this amount of times at this part of the season. Well, we can only speculate. Last year, what happened was he got hurt at the end of the year based off the load that it was put on him, right? The torn meniscus in 2023 happened when he was load managing his body, which in reality kind of goes against the notion that the more you sit out, the less you get hurt. I live by the mindset, the more that you condition your mind and your body for physical combat, meaning you're working out and you're playing games, that's going to condition you to play and to not put yourself at risk to getting injured. So load management is good to an extent, but I thought the Clippers overdid it in 2023. I mean, I think he played like, 50-something games? That's not enough basketball. That's not enough time to get yourself ready to play. So I think they're looking at like, okay, we've been load managing him. He got hurt. We overplayed him, or he played him 68 games. Try to make sure he took the regular season seriously. He got hurt again. But my thing is that the only reason he got hurt last year is because of the timing, and I believe the stress that was put on him at the end of the season, right? And it wasn't even really an injury that was like he tore something. He just had knee swelling. I mean, knee swelling has been common amongst other players. Jamal Murray caught knee swelling, and he was out. Some things just happen based off of, you had a surgery on your torn meniscus. That could have been exactly the reason why you had it. But I don't really believe that last year was such a testament that this guy's washed. I don't believe this year him trying to get back to what he was is a testament he's washed. He's played 18 games and he's playing inconsistent minutes, right? So once again, he ain't washed. Give him a little bit more time. We still got about 20 plus games left in the regular season. Kawhi needs to be playing majority, if not all, these games. He doesn't need to be sitting out. He needs to constantly be getting his minutes. If you're going to give him any type of, there's ways to get rest within the game, meaning you can still let him play every single game, but lower his minutes. Don't have him play 35 minutes on a back-to-back, right? We have to, and if you're going to do that, also, what parts of the game is he going to be playing? It don't make sense to put him in and let him play all these minutes at the beginning of the game just to not have him at the end of the game, because we still need these wins. We still need to capitalize on these wins. So the Clippers have to be smart on how they use them. And they also, and I'm going to talk about this in another video, they have to start playing through him. and playing through his system and getting him the basketball. That's another reason why it looks like he's washed, because he's playing uncomfortable. He's not even playing the way type of basketball he has. They're not playing the type of basketball he's supposed to be accustomed to playing. So that's for another video though. But we'll talk until next time. Pull up, see, pull up, check, pull it out. Peace out of here like swimwear.